I think people are going to underestimate me, and I'm going to use that to my advantage.
My mother's actually good. That's what's concerned me.
You know, they say blood is thicker than water, but so is yogurt.
Mentally, we've definitely got a lot more experience than they do.
Survivor is stealth.
Hey guys, welcome to Survivor New York Season 3, Blood vs. Water. Congratulations on getting to this point, because this is a huge stepping stone to getting to the end of this game and becoming the sole survivor. One of the key interesting points of this season is that you will be competing against your loved one. I'm gonna start with Katie. How do you feel about competing against your loved one in this game?
Feeling pretty good.
Do you think that she's gonna be easy to beat? Yeah? Avanti, do you believe that to be true? Are you easy to beat?
No, but if it lulls her into a false sense of security, I'm very easy to beat.
Let's talk about last night. We had a very adventurous night. Is anyone willing to admit they barely slept last night, thinking so much about the game? Yeah? You each have been divided into 2 tribes. Yellow tribe, you will be known as Yadahala, which stands for sun in Native American culture. And purple tribe, you will be known as Onita, which stands for moon in Native American culture. All right, we're gonna hand you guys out the buffs, and then we're gonna get to the next part. All right, guys, now that you're all geared up with your buffs, I thought it'd be fun to start this game off with a little challenge. So what we're gonna do is everyone's gonna draw in this bag for a chip. They are all numbered. There's a certain number I'm looking for. If you pull that number, you and your partner are going to face off in the first challenge of the season. And there is a huge reward for the person that wins this, but you'll find out what it is when we get to the challenge. So let's start things off. Keep it covered, keep it in your hands. Do not look. Just keep it in your hands.
It's on. I want to see it.
All right, since this is Survivor New York Season 3, the person who has the number 3 is going to be competing against their loved one for a reward. All right, survivors ready? Reveal.
Oh shit!
You got us on fire.
I thought it was
Serena has pulled the chip and will face off against her loved one, Shantelle. You will be facing off in a hexagon-shaped puzzle.
So you guys are playing for this. This has 2 potential advantages. You can give your tribe an advantage in the first immunity challenge, or give you and your loved one immunity at the first tribal council. Survivors ready? Go! Both girls are moving quickly. Serena readjusting. Each have about 3 pieces left.
You got it.
Come on, girls, you gotta dig deep. This is for a huge advantage in the game, right from the start. Serena cursing her way through the challenge.
Take a breath. Relax. Take a breath.
I had to start over. It's okay.
This is your chance to prove who is better. Who is better than the other one? Come on.
Confident.
Got it.
Chris.
Shantelle, congratulations, you have won the reward. All right. You can wear it if you'd like. Congratulations. This is the most important part about this challenge. I need to know from you right now, which decision are you going to make? Are you going to give immunity to yourself and Serena, guaranteeing you both in the final 19 of this game, or are you going to give your tribe a huge advantage in the first immunity challenge?
So I think since this is the first challenge and we haven't gotten to the immunity yet, I'm definitely going to use it for myself and the team.
Okay. All right, so Anita, you guys are going to have an advantage at the first immunity challenge coming up soon. All right, so you can rejoin your tribe.
I couldn't figure out which one it was. I was trying to count. I wasn't really nervous about sort of going up against a loved one. I was just really nervous because it was like the first challenge. It was an individual thing. And I get why she would choose like immunity for her tribe over like immunity for us, because my whole thing was like first tribal council or just first round. You just don't want to stand out.
And I think it was the obvious choice. She had to do that.
Now, that was the only choice for anybody. Now, since we didn't win, I was hoping she would pick the other choice. Of course. But
obviously, me losing the reward challenge, I don't want to say it puts a target on my back, but it definitely draws attention to myself. I'm hoping we pull out the immunity win so I don't have to worry about that. Or if we don't win immunity, someone does like really bad in the immunity challenge, so they're looking at them rather than me.
I mean, that's also just a smart play, because if you turn on your team that early, I'm like, that's only one time that you're going to be safe from elimination. Your team's going to come after you after that.
We just had our first reward challenge. Didn't go as well as we wanted it to go, but we're gonna recover. It's gonna be great. We're gonna get through this immunity challenge and show the Moon team that we're a force to be reckoned with. So I'm really excited and I'm happy about my trial.
My mom's not good at puzzles.
My mother is also not good at puzzles. She was very worried about that.
So Mark looks really fit. Charles is really fit. But they don't have chemistry.
Eddie's very fit.
Yeah, Eddie.
I was really excited that Shantelle won the first challenge. We were all cheering her on. I love the fact that she's got that good vibe shirt on, because I was just sending her good vibes from the back, because I was just like, yes, girl, bring it home. So yeah, I was super excited.
It felt really good to win this, and it felt even better just hearing my team behind me, like cheering me on. Honestly, I'm pretty sure, like as soon as that was announced, I was pretty sure of my decision, which was to give it to the team, because this early on, if I chose it to myself, that's something that the team is gonna like recognize, and I think it would have put my game in risk. Right now, giving it to the team, if it gives us an advantage, then we can all, you know, win immunity, and then I'm spared from that. I'm really hoping that in the yellow tribe that Serena's not going to be in hot water because of not winning, but I felt like it wasn't an option for me not to give it to my tribe, because they're all going to be like...
Last night was quite an adventure. I felt like it was like we were all at our first night of camp. Nobody really knows who each other is, and we're just kind of like cracking jokes, feeling the water out. I'm really keeping my options open at this point because it's so, everything has just kind of started, so I don't want to close any doors before I shoot myself in the foot.
I was vibing really well with Josh, Hoy on one side, and then Gary, I think, and Louie on the other side. So I was like, okay, good, I could be like the third wheel to each of these two, and maybe we could be like 5 together. But then like I was also doing really well with the girls too, like Avanti and Shantelle. And Shantelle kind of won it for the tribe, so she's very safe now. You know, I have it in with some of these people, and I just want to be like either the third wheel or the fifth wheel to some of them. That's my strategy.
All right, guys, welcome to your first immunity challenge. Before we get started, I just want to see what's going on with each tribe. Anessa, tell me what's happening. You guys are finally a tribe. You're finally able to talk. What's going on?
Yeah, we're all just trying to figure out each other's strengths and trying to see, you know, who fits where. We're very curious about the challenges and can't wait to find out what happens next.
Shantelle, you feel good that you have the advantage?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, and I'm happy that we have that as a tribe and we feel pretty good.
Okay. So let's get to it then. You guys are going to be playing a Survivor Classic challenge from Survivor Philippines, and you will be competing against your loved one on the opposite tribe. You each will start out in one of these squares, and you are going to race around to make sure that your flat disc is facing your tribe color up while your opponent's color is facing down. You're going to keep going around until your 3 are faced up, and if you are the first one to complete that, you're going to receive 1 point. The best out of 10 is going to win. And because Onita has the advantage, you guys are starting this challenge out with 1 point to begin with. All right, so let's get to it. So we have our first matchup. We have Mark and Louie. All right. Survivors ready? Go.
Got it.
Come on, Louie. Come on, Mark.
Yadahala gets the point.
Next matchup, again, is Shantelle and Serena. Survivors ready? Go!
Go, Serena, go!
Onita scores.
Onita's in the lead with 2 points. Anessa and Eddie are up next. Survivors ready? Go! That's nothing on there. Yellow! Yellow gets the point. All right, Sandy and Caleb, survivors ready? Go!
Go, 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 go,
Sandy gets the point. Onita is in the lead with 3 points. Next up is Gary and Charles. Survivors ready. Go! Onita, you have 4 points. Yadahala, you have 2 points. The next matchup is Sam versus Pete. Survivors ready, go!
Yadahala gets the point.
Next matchup is Josh versus Sarah. Survivors ready? Go!
There you go, Josh. There you go. That's it. We got it. You got it.
Purple gets the point. Purple. Onita has 5 points. Yadahala has 3 points. You need to get this point to keep your tribe alive. All right? Okay. Boy versus Hong. Survivors ready? Go!
You got it. Yellow
gets the point. Devontae, you could win this right here. You really need this one, Katie, to stay alive, all right?
You got it, Katie.
Devontae versus Katie. Survivors ready? Go!
Get it. Y'all got it. Here you go. That's a good one. That's a good one.
It's a close matchup. Big team, girls. You got this.
How close can we get?
All right, we have mother versus daughter. This is for immunity. Whoever gets this is going to win for their tribe. Susan versus Emily. Survivors ready? Go!
Onita wins immunity.
All right, congratulations, Onita. You have won immunity. You guys will be safe.
Winning feels good. And we're winning, so.
I have real mixed feelings because the only reason I'm here this weekend is because of Emily, and it's so hard because as a mom, you want your kids to succeed, but you can't let them win because that's not how life is, you know, real life. So I'm hoping she's not mad at me for giving it my best, and that's what we taught our kids. So hopefully, you know, it's all good, and we'll leave here feeling like even stronger as a mother and daughter.
I think it's good for her chances in the game that she won. I think it definitely, even though other people lost rounds, you know, I'm not the only one who lost a round, I feel like it does put a little bit of a target on me for losing in that pivotal moment. But there was the advantage that came from the first challenge, and I think I have more to offer the team in the future.
It's but I haven't talked to anyone over there yet.
Yeah. Do you want to break up the group, split them up a little bit? Speed dating?
Speed dating.
Who do you guys see yourselves aligning with?
I'm keeping my eye out. I think all the guys on the team I really like, especially Caleb and Eddie.
Maybe a little nervous, but maybe over-strategizing from the get-go.
Yeah. Well, and he's played it before.
And he's played, yeah, he's played before as well. That is something that makes me nerve-wracking. I know that's not exactly what you were asking.
But I think we need someone to win the challenges first.
Yeah, that's true.
I connected with Hung. She's on my team. Caleb. I like Charles. I think that's his name. I think it's also interesting because there's two people who have never played before, which to me, I feel like anybody who's like played this game before like might be going for them because they are the wild cards. So I think that's Eddie and Katie. So they could be like up in the air. I don't know what their thoughts are.
I think I was telling her, like, we didn't really do a challenge yet. Like, I mean, it wasn't like anything that was like super like hard to, like, it's not something that really stood out to me as like, I don't know.
I think they're all coming in very open-minded. They're extremely excited to play. None of these guys have played before, so they're not coming in with these expectations. They're coming in with a raw excitement, and it excites me. So I just feel that that group is saying to Serena.
She told me that she thinks she's on the chopping block because she messed up the first.
And it's got to be challenge basis.
It is. It does. I think Charles and Mark are going to be pretty good allies in my team. I know Charles is a big Survivor fan, and I know he knows the game. I know he knows the stuff. And Mark, he told me he wasn't big of a Survivor fan, but I mean, he knows how to play the games. He knows how to talk to people. He's very personable. So I do think those two are going to be pretty strong allies for me.
I feel like you work with me, with us, and you feel good. God, how you going to answer that? No. Not working with you.
No.
But you can get the gut. I mean,
I like when you split it up, the three of us. Yeah.
I'm going well right now. I don't talk much. I think I'm trying to keep my strategic game under the radar. And I showed a little bit of physical strength just so they don't have the feeling to vote me out first, because they can see that I can maybe run a little bit and strategize in the challenges.
Personally, the challenge went very poorly. I got out there, I competed against my mother, and I thought that I could beat her, but I flipped the X and hit my own leg, and it flipped back over. I had to turn around, and at that point she had gained on me. So it personally went poorly. Obviously for the team it didn't go so well. We did lose. So I think you own your mistake, first of all. It's key. You gotta say, I screwed up, sorry, won't happen again. And then try and, position yourself as someone who can add value later on in the game.
It kind of seems like it's, the five of us. I mean, I know Pete wants to vote our way. I'm pretty sure Mark was aligned with that. I haven't spoken to him. Serena obviously doesn't want to vote for herself, but
I think Serena might have her head on the chopping block just because she got put in some tough situations.
And we can talk to other people over there and say us 5 were down for Caleb, and then we only need one more person because there's 10 of us.
I'm nervous. I was one of the people who lost in my thing, so I really hope it's not me, but I'm nervous that since I'm over here it could be me.
The yoga girl, Emily. I mean, she should have some good skill, physically.
I don't think anyone's to blame, which of course I want to say being in that last spot, but I think we all gave it our value.
I didn't let her go. She's
I know, she's good with that.
She is good.
Like, do we need her now?
Yeah.
I think Serena is maybe on the chopping block. She messed up a little bit in 2 parts of the challenges.
No, I don't want to mess up. But like, no, but like if I'm here, but like in terms of just like
And Katie's kind of rising to be the leader, so she's showing her strategic skills. So I'm kind of scared that she might take over, and it might be a good time to get her out right off the bat.
All right, guys. First tribal council. It's a big one. Sarah, how are you feeling right now?
I feel like there's probably a lot of anxiety, paranoia going on. I'm just gonna see what happens.
Okay. Serena, you competed against your loved one, Shantelle, in a puzzle battle.
Yeah.
And you lost.
Yeah.
What are your feelings about that?
I mean, yeah, my initial reaction when I lost is like, you never want to stand out for good or for bad reasons in the beginning of the game. So when that happened, I obviously was like a little concerned. But my whole tribe, when I talked to them, they were like, yeah, it was like completely random and the puzzle was pretty difficult. So they were very supportive.
Charles, what did you think about Shanchelle's decision? Would you have done the same thing?
For the advantage?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that was the smartest decision. I think it's difficult to try and form an alliance across tribes this early on, especially when the numbers aren't in your favor. So I think giving them the advantage was the best way.
Let's talk about the challenge then. Katie, how did you feel during that challenge?
It was really anxiety-inducing to watch people go. It felt so great tying our team back up though. So, I mean, I'm glad that it worked out that way, but that was a hard challenge to watch, especially with how close some of the calls were.
I mean, I think it's unfortunate that we have to vote someone out, but I think that, like, we are very resilient. We did lose, we were behind a point, but we caught up to the very last point. So I think we have a good team coming up.
Mark, what's the vibe from your perspective?
For me, I'm like more of the quiet one, so I usually talk to people I feel comfortable with. Right now it's pretty much everyone, but I think we have a great personality. I think we can mesh with anyone. It's nice to hear them. Nice to talk to them.
Okay. Pete, how does it feel to compete against Sam? Because I know you've been friends for a very long time.
Sam and I compete every day. Every day there's some competition between us. So that didn't feel unusual. I'm glad I beat him. He's a little bit more physical. I'm a little bit more strategy. I'll be a little bit more puzzle guy. He'll be more the physical guy, but to beat him in a physical challenge for me was pretty exciting. So.
Emily, what are you going to base your vote on?
I think with the first vote, we just kind of are getting to know each other, so it's really hard to say. I think I'm kind of just looking at what will make the tribe stronger going forward.
Eddie, is there any noticeable liabilities on the tribe? You don't have to name names if you don't want to, but is there anybody that you think is clearly the weakest link?
So I'd say right now it's a little too early to make that decision. We're all kind of getting to know each other, our strengths and weaknesses, and it's kind of impossible to just like point out a liability or a big weakness.
Caleb, are there alliances already? I know it's early, but you guys are going to vote. So do you believe that there is an alliance?
I'll phrase it this way. I have not heard of alliances. I think that is either a bad thing for me or the fact that there are none.
But are you in an alliance then? If you haven't heard about it?
I haven't heard about it and I'm in an alliance. And I'm playing this game very well.
Before we get to vote, I just want to give anybody a last chance to say anything that they may want to say to the group. All right, so we'll start the voting then.
I spell it right. Caleb, I'm voting you out because first of all, you're the only name that I've heard, and second of all, I think the reason why people have been saying your name is because in order to move forward as a tribe, you're the weakest link. I'm sorry, it's nothing personal, but yeah, that's where my vote's going.
I think this was consensus. Consensus could also be me, so we'll see what happens.
It's a really nice pen.
Voting for Caleb, I heard a lot of different names, and I just hope it's not me.
If I scare Emily a little bit, I can try to get her on my side, playing dumb that I don't know who voted for her.
Alright guys, if anyone has the hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now would be the time to do so. Alright, I will read the votes. First vote, Emily. Second vote, Serena. That's 1 vote Emily, 1 vote Serena. Third vote, Caleb. 1 vote Emily, 1 vote Caleb, 1 vote Serena. Fourth vote, Caleb. 2 votes Caleb, 1 vote Emily, 1 vote Serena. Fifth vote, Serena. That's 2 votes Serena, 2 votes Caleb, 1 vote Emily. Sixth vote, Serena. That's 3 votes Serena, 2 votes Caleb, 1 vote Emily. Caleb. That's 3 votes Caleb, 3 votes Serena. Serena. That's 4 votes Serena, 3 votes Caleb, 1 vote Emily. 2 votes left. And the first person voted out, Survivor, New York Season 3 Blood vs. Water, Serena. Serena, you're gonna need to bring me to your fort. You put it in there. Serena, the tribe has spoken.
Nope.
Time for you to go. Obviously it was a split vote. Let's see if you guys can come back together on this next one. Alright? Let's head back to camp.
Next time on Survivor New York, the castaways are blindfolded in their next immunity challenge. And Shantelle deals with losing her loved one.
The reason that she became the target is because we had to go up against each other, and I won this. And what really got me is that again, if I use this for me and her, she would be here.
Louis reveals a secret.
This also could be nothing, but I imagine it's not.
It was definitely, this was my first time playing, one of these types of things, because I'm a fan of the show, but it was my first time in. I had a fun time. I think I totally understand the vote. The writing was on the wall. I knew it was on the wall. I talked to some people, got a name that wasn't mine, and I wrote that down, but at the end of the day, they all decided to, or most of them decided to vote me, and I understand why. I just sort of had the unfortunate luck of drawing the number and losing, and then that point put them up, and then, yeah.